Welcome to Director Pepper Social Club on the Daily Parks and Rec Show, where parks and recreation leaders share ideas, experiences, and leadership insights. Today, we're bringing you an inspiring conversation filled with lessons, strategies, and stories that make a difference. Every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where leaders connect and grow. In this episode, Jonathan Papa J. Skinner sits down with Nikki Ginger to discuss leadership, mentorship, collaboration, and innovative ideas that help parks and recreation professionals build stronger teams and more impactful communities.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Jonathan Papa J. Skinner here in beautiful Winchester, California. And yes, I am the new retired guy that retired last Friday from the beautiful city of Lake Elsinore. I want to welcome you today to our podcast, which is the Director Pepper Social Club. For those who haven't been here before, I'll give you a quick rundown of how this started. The Dr. Pepper Social Club is something that we started, and Carla, if you want to go ahead and put up the picture. Down here in Southern California, have some colleagues that we wanted to get together and talk about not only work, but also our personal lives. Because a lot of times when you go to these meetings and these get-togethers of department heads, you don't get the social part of it. And so in the picture there, you'll see on the left-hand side, that's Kevin the Hawk Hawkins. He's been on the show before. So Kevin and I were talking about how can we get people together so we can talk about work, but also give an opportunity for us to share about our families and everything like that. So we decided to go to lunch at Black Bear Restaurant. So Kevin called a couple people. And so Kevin showed up first. He ordered a Dr. Pepper. When I showed up, I also ordered a Dr. Pepper. Then the gentleman to right next to Kevin is Jonathan Nix, who was working for the city of Menifee. And unbeknownst to us, he also ordered a Dr. Pepper. And then the last guy to show was Brian Ambrose, who was right next to me, and he ordered a Dr. Pepper. Thus, the Dr. Pepper Club was created. From that time, April 4th, 2019, which is, the origin started, we started to branch out, and we ended up with 20 organizations of either municipalities, districts, professionals in the field that we got to share information. Right before COVID hit, we would go ahead and we would always start with a conversation. How are you? How's your family doing? And then we would then go into the different kind of things that we're working at. And it came in really key when COVID hit and we couldn't interact personally. We were able to do so many things online. And I want to show you something really quick. Go ahead and pull out, Carlo. So one of the key people right now, Kyla Brown, actually came up, and this is backwards, but it was Pamela from Ontario, Riverside, sorry. They came up with an Inland Empire Director Pepper Club that all of us have, and it's with us every day. So we think about it every day. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking to different people. Today, we're very fortunate to have a good friend of mine, Nikki Ginger from Barry Dunn. We're going to talk about our origin story, about our relationship, how we met and how we work together, and how we're going to be doing something really exciting in September. But first, what we want to do is show you a couple of promos and information from some of our sponsors, Outdoor Link and the Wesley King and Aquatics Life. So go ahead and roll it, Carlo.
not just water. It's responsibility. It's leadership. It's not just drowning prevention or water safety. It's life. And every day, aquatics professionals make decisions that save lives. Because aquatics is more than swim lessons. It's community, it's creativity, it's impact. For over 30 years, aquatics hasn't just been my profession, it's been my life. I've seen the challenges, the pressure, the grind, but I've also seen the power of great leadership and what happens when communities come together. This is where education meets entertainment, where real conversations happen, where aquatics professionals come together to learn, lead, and grow. Because aquatics should bring people together. This is Aquatics Life, streaming on DPRS Media Network.
Thank you so much, Carlo. You know, it's great to have great sponsors. And actually, I jumped ahead. Outdoor Link is our middle sponsor. But we want to thank them for making us be able to have these various episodes and various podcasts that we have. Carlo, could you put up all the shows that we have so we can talk a little bit about them? So when I met Craig several years ago, actually about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, he had one show, the Daily Parks and Rec show. And I got a call from Liddy Gutfield. I called Liddy Gutfield because I got a call from Craig, and he was like, "Hey, listen, I'd like to have you on the show." So I called Liddy, and she's like, "Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy." So we started. So I was probably in the first 100 shows. It was a great interview. It was a great time. I've actually been on the show several times. From that, the leadership series, you can see on here the number of different shows and episodes that are available. Anything from park maintenance to health and wellness of the individual to on the front lines with John Prue, which we'll talk about John Prue. Nikki and I have history with him. Then you look at Aaron Locks, who does the youth sports and YPN and so many different shows. So we definitely want you to come along with us. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Spotify, Facebook, and actually what we're trying to do right now, and if you want to pull up the YouTube there, Carlo, we are trying to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We get to 1,000 subscribers, all of our episodes will be on YouTube, and we'll have various channels. So if you want to see my show, if you want to see John's show, any of the shows, you can go on YouTube to see it. Go ahead and do the next one, please, Carlo. So when you look at your screen, there you go. So this is how the screen looks. So you make sure you go to the right location. The Daily Parks and Rec show on YouTube. We're looking to get to 1,000 subscribers. We had a great show with Craig did one today, and some of us popped in. Dave Ramirez, Wesley King, John Prue, and myself, and we talked about the importance of being able to get this message out there. And we might be giving away a gift once we get to 1,000. We're going to have a drawing. It's going to be pretty exciting. So back to the big screen here. As Nikki knows, I retired, and it's been a great time here in Lake Elsinore. Nikki and I have been together for a while, but I wanted to show Nikki some stuff because she was going to come to my retirement party, but she's in Chicago, so she wasn't able to make it. So I did want to show you some stuff that it's pretty proud of. So when we did the last fishing derby, and I posted this online, but Bo Davis, who is the assistant director, and staff actually got together and put together this trophy that they named Hooked on Community Award. In recognition for your exceptional passion, dedication, and continued support of the Just for Kids Fishing Derby. Your commitment has helped create lasting memories and inspired generations of young anglers in our community. So this trophy, this award, was given to me on the last day of the hold on, I gotta put this back here, at the end of the fishing derby. It was really great. Now, last Thursday, they threw me a surprise party at work. And so they put together, these people are so cool. They put together some stuff for me. They actually created a book from my start. And Nikki, this means you have to come to California so you can see it. But it shows all the different, I didn't know they had these pictures when our team, and this is a whole big thing I talk about team building and everything. So this is a memory thing that I can share with my kids and my grandkids. They actually, at the party, and some of you who went to CPRS when I got the award, they made this AI thing for me. But what they did was everybody who came, they did selfies because they know how big I am on selfies. So they put together a book with everybody's selfie and their congratulations and everything. So it was really, really awesome. So enough about me. It was really great. And I cherish these people so much. I love them like my own family, my grandkids actually, because they're so young. But anyway, so back to the person she's on my right, no, my left. This is the world famous Nikki Ginger. And Nikki and I go back a long, long way. But Nikki, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here. It's great. Congratulations on your retirement.
Well,
very excited for you.
We've known each other for almost as long as I've been with the city of Lake Elsinore. But Nikki, as I do with all our guests, is I'm really big on Marvel and DC, and they talk about the origin story of the superhero, how they started, how they grew up, and everything. So it is now time for the crowd to hear the origin story of Nikki Ginger.
Wow.
Go for it.
How far back are we going? We're going like
go back as far as I started at 7.5, so I started at 7.5. You don't have to go back that far, but give us who is Nikki and where she was, where she's been, and where she's going.
All right. Well, I think just because I have to do my California tie, I certainly won't start from day one. But I am originally from Northern California, and the reason I think that that's important is because though I grew up in Chicago, I would spend summers in California with my biological father, and we'd go camping and hiking and swimming in the creek and catching tadpoles. And so my love for Parks and Recreation started at a very, very young age. So I was, just a believer from the get-go. And what brought me to this field was really serendipitous. So I was a very non-traditional student. Though I started my undergraduate degree at 17, I started and stopped and started and stopped and started and stopped. And I didn't get my bachelor's degree until I was in my 30s, I'm 35. Well, the reason that's important is because as I was trying to juggle working, I was going to night school, and I took a leisure studies class for an easy A. And I thought, okay. And it was funny because the opposite class that I took was something about terrorism. So talk about extremes. It was an interesting time. Well, I took this leisure studies course, and I was like, boy, this is actually pretty fun. And like everybody else who falls into this career, who knew that people could make a living in Parks and Recreation? Well, I enjoyed the class, but didn't really think anything of it. I was still kind of kept going on my trajectory of an undergrad in marketing and psychology. And I moved from the suburbs to the city, and the city being Chicago. And I was on the world famous L train. And I looked up, and there was my professor from my leisure studies course. And so we're talking in between stops. He was on his way to graduation, and I was going wherever I was going. And he said, "So what are you doing?" I was like, I'm working for this company, and I really don't like it." And he goes, "Why are you working in corporate America? You should be working in Parks and Recreation." And I was like, "Yeah, sounds great, but let me know if something comes up." Well, lo and behold, a couple weeks later, I run into him again, this time at a festival in Chicago. And he looked at me and goes, "Nikki, I know of some stuff that's coming up at Chicago Park District. You should really think about it. Look into it. I think you'd be really great for this role." So I looked at it. I was like, "I don't know. This it requires a lot of public speaking." But the cool part about it, and now of course years later, I realize how insightful he was. And this is what often happens with us, right? That other people see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And this job was to help mentor people like me to excel in their careers. So that non-traditional student who took forever to finish her undergrad, I took that, I applied that and thought, okay, you know what, this actually does make sense. I'm going to help the people in the Chicago Park District, the staff, to build their careers and give them faith in themselves. And so, I went through, the whole process, and I was fortunate to be selected for the position. And so that's where it started. And 4 days later, after I started, I was working with the Illinois Park and Recreation Association on developing a CPRP course for our staff, and built that into a really a statewide. It started with statewide. I guess it was Chicago, then statewide, and then I've been on the NRPA, part of NRPA's development of the CPRP course. So that's how I got into the field. I don't know if you want me to move on to how I got here at Barry Dunn.
Yes, I do.
Right. All right.
We want to hear.
You want to hear it all? All right. So I was fortunate to work for Chicago Park District for nearly 13 years, and it was an incredible experience. I got to see so many places in Chicago. I got to go just to the best communities. And I will tell you something that I learned, and it makes me even emotional, honestly, thinking about it, was every single community. I don't care what community it is. I don't care what label has been placed on it. Every community wants exactly the same thing. And I'm sure that people that are watching this, and every park and recreation professional sees this too. It's like people just want to be happy, healthy, and safe. And they enjoy recreation the same way, maybe a different manner, or different venue, or a different process. But everybody enjoys recreation. And so that gave me this, like, even though I was on the back line helping my staff, I was, and 3,000 of my staff, and then doubled in the summer. I felt like I was making an impact. And so 4 years ago, I decided that I was going to move into the consulting realm. And I did that for a few different reasons. The one side was I was ready to make a move. My family was ready to make a move, and we were ready to move out of the city. And Chicago, you can't work for the city and not live in the city. So that was one side of it. And I did want to continue doing the work that I'm doing. And so I looked at the different consulting firms, and I was fortunate to come over here to Barry Dunn. And with that, with working with Barry Dunn, I've been able to make that same impact. Well, maybe not exactly the same impact, but I do feel like I'm still helping communities around the country now on a bigger scale to provide great opportunities for all of their community members, regardless of where they live or how they like to recreate.
Well, here's a shameless plug for Nikki. A couple years ago, we went through the RFP process to do our master plan for the city of Lake Elsinore. The last time it was done is in 2008, and it was never activated. As Ben Foster, who is the senior management analyst for Lake Elsinore, would say, it was a coffee table book, because it sat there and people looked at it from time to time and they go, "Oh, this is nice. Anyway, what's for dinner?" So when we came to wanting to do a master plan, we wanted to make sure that it's something that is kind of evergreen, something that would grow with the community and that people could get behind. So we started the RFP process. We had 4 different companies that come in. One of them actually was Doug Grove from RHA, who was the guest on here on the podcast. There was another company that I had worked with in the past on another project, and there was Barry Dunn. And since I knew everybody, I took a step back, and I really believe in giving our staff opportunities to be successful, as Sven had mentioned last time. So when they did the interview process, everybody came in. Actually, some came in, some didn't come in. And Barry Dunn came in, and they gave a presentation that was not your typical kind of presentation. It was one that had us interact. It was, I would call it Pavlov's dog kind of situation. If we did the right thing, we got candy. I still remember the candy. But it showed what we would be getting as part of the implementation of the research for the master plan. I took myself out. We had Bo, Ben, myself, and we had somebody from Parks that was there. Unanimously, they agreed with what I already thought was that Barry Dunn would be the way to go because of how they interacted. Nothing against the other ones. They were good. Actually, one wasn't that good, but Doug's was great. He works with Nile, if you know Nile, Next Partners, great. But what Nikki and the team were able to do is show us a different way of communicating with our community to get information out. So they were selected. If you go to my LinkedIn page, and Carla will be showing that LinkedIn page location, so you can go in and see some of the videos. We went to council. We were accepted from council, and Nikki and I made a video going down Main Street. You remember that, Nikki?
I do, because you didn't warn me. All
Yes,
of a sudden I'm walking.
her.
So if you don't know Jonathan, if you're walking next to him, be ready, because at any time he could pull out his phone and you're suddenly making a reel, and so he likes to catch you off the cuff, which is great because it's natural.
Well, she did an incredible job on the reel, and we started the process. One of the other things that Barry Dunn does, Nikki and Elsa, her partner, and Barry Dunn do, is they interact with the entire staff. So we had some core staff that were given different jobs to do to give input into the creation of it. They also have a great marketing plan, and we used it to our full extent. We had a video that was done by our city council. I actually made a basket behind me. It's pretty great. I'm not going to tell you how many takes, but it's really great. Also not going to tell you the ball hit me in the head. Won't tell you that part. But it personalized what we were trying to get from the community. Staff took it a bit further, and Bo Davis and Linda Perez did this one to the Spice Girls. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Totally so classic. It was great. The editing was done by our team, and it was so great. And so it helped get people into it. I also believe that the director doesn't need to be upfront. You have your staff do that. So we had Ben do some PSAs as well. We tied in, and as Nikki mentioned, I love pictures of actual people doing actual things. So I'm not a big what's it called? Not the Photoshop, but the stock photos. Because the stock photos, you look at them, it's like, wait, I live in the city. I've never seen this building in my life. So I'm really big on that. So when Nikki's team came out and they did the thing at Stadium Pizza, and if they answered questions, we gave them beer.
Well, we gave them a beverage of their choice.
We gave them a beverage of their choice. Most chose the beer.
Yes.
But we had pictures of that. We had the interactions that we did. And the team was so excited that with Nikki's help and Barry Dunn's help, we actually had our part-time staff who do an Excel program in the elementary school, and they did a workshop with the kids to design a park. So from that information, we were headed in a great trajectory to be on time to submit it, finish it up, and get it to council. Well, in that time, we had some management staff that actually changed over, and the team that came in actually had some really good information and ideas. From the time that we started to the time we were at, there's been a lot of changes with the lake. And if you're not familiar with Lake Elsinore, Great Lake used to be pea soup green, really interesting. But thanks to Ben and Adam Guffarati from the city manager's office, actually he's heading the lake management, they were able to get in some nano bubblers and clean up the lake. So at the time when we started, the lake wasn't on the forefront. As we started going through, we had to pivot and add more information about the lake to see how it was going to be activated. Nikki and her team did a great job. They didn't complain. They said, okay, let's go ahead and pivot and see what we can do, add the information in. We're able to do that. And it only delayed us a couple of months, but I'm very happy to say at the beginning of the year, the master plan, we actually changed departments too. We used to be community services and we changed to recreation. So we had to change all the verbiage in there for that. But through all that, Nikki and her team have been really supportive and talked about how we're going to do things. And we're actually able to go to completion. Bo and the team now are starting to look at how they're going to implement it. And so, that's my long-winded thing to say Nikki and her team are pretty good.
Thank you.
So with that, got a question for you. So you're doing this across the country, which I think is amazing. One, how do you keep all the different cities, separated? I think of somebody, let's say, Van Halen, let's say they're going to they do a concert here and then they do a concert back in Chicago and they go, hello, Lake Elsinore. Wait, we're in Chicago. Hello, Chicago. So how do you balance all that and make sure that the stuff you're doing for Lake Elsinore doesn't, conflict or doesn't get put in for the stuff for Chicago, let's say?
Yeah, that's such a good question because it is one that we're always worried about because you've got departments, districts, you've got or agencies, so we always have to think about that. Or is it a town, a village, a city, municipality, whatever. So we're always having to think about what that particular agency is referred to as. For me, it's always planning ahead of time when I'm going to go meet with my client that I read through my notes and I remember, okay, this is important to this group, and I take a lot of notes. When I'm flying out to that community, I'm often looking what's going on in the news, or I'll have AI generate some latest, scour the internet and tell me what are some things that I should be thinking about so that I'm really in tune with it. And I also tend to, you didn't really ask this, but I think it's kind of interesting, is that when I'm going to work with a client, I really like to make sure that there's something about them that makes it personal for me. I mean, for Lake Elsinore, it was you, of course. And so I wanted to see you all succeed. But even like, I always say I love the underdogs. They're my favorite client. I love when I'm really trying to help them. And I think that stems from my work in Chicago. And I'll look at that particular neighborhood or that particular department or city, and what is the thing that I really connect with it, so that when I'm flying over there, when I'm driving over there, I'm thinking about what's important to those individuals. So I just kind of I really try to pull it into my heart. And then pray that I don't say the wrong thing or get them mixed up. Sometimes that'll take me a second. Wait, what? What are they talking about? Oh, that's right. So if you throw me a curveball, I might have to think for a second, to be honest.
Well, you know what? I think it's great. And for us, it was always you and Elsa. So you guys have that. But that's the other thing too, is you're working on this project with Elsa, and then you're working on this one with somebody else, and somebody else with Elsa on this one, and you're juggling all these different things. But I also love the fact that you were able to professionally share information from other locations. Like Greeley is a great example. And the reason I bring up Greeley, because we both have a Ben, and our Ben and his Ben, and so we got to be, Ben actually is now a friend. So but you were able to share, like I said, professionally, no confidential information, but you were able to share on how they were able to do it, and we were able to modify, or we were able to do our master plan. And I'm very proud of what we created. I'm very excited to see what happens with Bo and the team as they start implementing different things. The city is, now it's probably about 40% built out. And one of the things that really needs to be there, and you mentioned at the very beginning, is it has to have that recreational component, that thing that people can go to a neighborhood or a pocket park and go play with the kids, or just watch the grass grow. I love watching grass grow. Actually, I love watching water, but I mean, that's another story altogether. So listen, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, because we have some great sponsors. And I think this one's going to be linked, Outdoor Link. I messed it up in the beginning, but Carlo, go ahead and run those, and we're going to come back with Nikki Ginger.
In today's parks and recreation industry, communication, safety, and efficiency go hand in hand. That's where Outdoor Link comes in, delivering smart technology that empowers city departments and community planners to do more, smarter. Outdoor Link's platform connects and automates everything that keeps your parks running smoothly, from lighting and locks to signage, water features, Wi-Fi, and digital advertising. Control and schedule park lights for safety and energy savings. Remotely manage facility access. Coordinate fountains and splash pads. Provide public connectivity. All from one simple, unified platform, giving you real-time control, data, and cost efficiency. For parks and recreation agencies, that means safer spaces, smarter resource use, faster responses, and stronger community engagement. And behind every great park story is great infrastructure. That's why Outdoor Link proudly supports DPRS Media Company, helping the Daily Parks and Rec Show amplify the voices of professionals shaping our communities every day. Outdoor Link, smart, connected solutions for parks, recreation, and beyond.
They say it's just rec. Just rec, where kids learn to try again. Just rec, where confidence begins. Where teamwork, effort, and fun matter more than trophies. It's not about perfection. It's about participation. It's not just rec. It's where kids learn to love the game and themselves. It's just rec until they learn teamwork for life. It's just rec, but it's everything to them. It's more than rec. It's a movement. It's just rec until you realize it's shaping the next generation. Together, we're not just running programs. We're building a culture of confidence, connection, and community. Join us.
Wow, man, those, every time I see those are great. So I want to thank Dave Ramirez and Outdoor Link for their continued sponsorship, and Aaron Locks, who he has a youth sports mastery podcast on that's pretty incredible. So definitely thank you so much for that kind of sponsorship. So Nikki, you had mentioned before about NRPA, and I know how amazing you are in NRPA. Why don't you talk a little bit about the director school where you actually train directors for, I don't know, eons?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm faculty on Director School, and if you haven't considered it, please do. It's such a fantastic opportunity. I was a graduate at Director School in 2019, and it's a week long school, held now around at different spots in the country. This year it's moving to, or I'm sorry, in 2027 it's moving to Milwaukee for a couple of years, and then it'll move to another location. And I loved it so much because it's a week long, like I said, school where I think it's something like 200 or so directors come together. And you think, oh my gosh, how can I give up a week? But I will tell you, within a day or two, you realize, actually probably within a day, that you have now met your best friends for the rest of your life. It's intense because you have classes every hour, but then there's also these opportunities for networking events every evening, social activities. Usually the host city has some type of activities and events, a park tour or an event that you're going to. And you learn from not only the individuals that are teaching the class, and there's something like 7 of us who are faculty, and we represent all different areas of the country. We have Janelle from Utah. We have Maria from Montana. We have Allie from Colorado. Myself, I'm missing people. Tara from Maryland, and Josh from Connecticut. So you could see we have all different types of representation on the faculty, but then in the classroom, you're sitting with a cohort of 30 people who you're learning from. It is such a fantastic school. This year was my last year, so if you want to see me, you better come to Milwaukee. I just have loved it so much. I've loved the opportunity to be part of Director School and part of NRPA. I hope honestly that I might be able to move over to Supervisor Management School or one of their other schools, because they're just so valuable and you learn so much. And as faculty, I walk out of there and think, oh my gosh, I had no idea they do that, or what have you. It's a really great opportunity.
See, and I love that passion that you have for that. You know, we talk about mentorship and to actually, and it's a 3-year program, right? Or is it 2-year?
2-year, but they just added a new offering, which is called the Director's Exchange, which is for anybody who has graduated. They can come. I think right now this year it's a 40-person cohort. Look it up. I'm not gonna do it justice, but look it up on NRPA's website.
See, and that's amazing that the learning doesn't stop just after the 3rd year. You're going to, the cohort, and there could be something that you can branch off, kind of like what we did for the Dr. Pepper social club. You know, I wasn't able to go, but, I was talking to a colleague of mine from another city, and he was very excited. He had mentioned that he was interested in participating, and his agency said, I've heard nothing but great things about it. So it's going to be competitive because there's other departments who want to go to other things, but you're going to be, if you're able to do this, you're going to be leading your department in education. So I think that's pretty awesome. So
and sign up on day one. On day one,
yes,
it sells out on day one. Believe it or not,
it does fill up, and some of the great my colleagues down here, my friends, have gone to the director school, and they do nothing but rave about everything that it's done. Now, to transition, stay with NRPA, but to transition, you and I met in this one thing that does stuff for the conference. What is that called?
Let's see.
I can remember the letters.
Yeah.
But I can never. John Prue was always like, Skinner, you can't remember this. No, I can't. It's the CPC, which is the Conference Program Committee.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So great thing. My guest last week, Sven Leff, actually, he was the one that got me into it, and then I met Nikki. But talk about the CPC, and because I know from time to time they're looking for new people too.
Yeah. If you are looking to meet other individuals, and get out of your bubble, the CPC is incredible. So I joined that when I was at Chicago, and the reason was because my role was it was a dual purpose role. In addition to helping to identify and review proposals for conference, I was utilizing it as an opportunity to see if there's anything I can learn and bring back to Chicago Park District, either a speaker or just gain some knowledge. So it's something like 20 people, Jonathan, is that about right? About 20 people?
No, it was like
more?
25. Yeah.
It's a huge
It was
committee.
bigger. I don't want to say it's like 30. Remember we had that
probably 3,000.
Yeah, 4,000. So, but yeah, it was at least 20 to 25 people that were there.
Yeah, and we're representing again all around the country, all different perspectives, from a small department of one to a district and beyond. And we are reviewing, and I will tell you, it is a huge lift. This is not for the faint of heart. You review all of the proposals that come in for the national conference. And I wish they were live so we could make them guess kind of like the number of jelly beans in a jar. I wish there were people here, because you wouldn't believe the number of proposals. So last count before I rolled off was over 700 proposals that you read. You get to know how many you can do in a night. And so I would set a goal of every day I had to do 30. And it takes you about 3 minutes to do each one. No joke. And so you read through it and you score it. And that's how all the conference sessions are picked at NRPA through this great committee.
Well, you know what? I think you forgot, Nikki. One year we had 800. We had 800. Lord. And the thing is, so everybody submits. They're all submitted by October. They start October, and I think they get them by November. We get them in the middle of December.
Just in time for Christmas, the holiday break. Everybody's enjoying their holiday break, and we're reading.
We're reading, and the thing is, back in the day, listen to me sounding old. Back in the day, we had to read, as Nikki said, all 800 of them, and each of us were responsible for a certain group. So I remember I had facilities and maintenance, and Nikki might have had computers and something.
Education,
professional education,
leadership. Yeah.
But it wasn't just Nikki. So I would be on mine, but then I would assist Nikki with hers, and then assist somebody else with theirs. So you had to go through these. You had to understand what they were about, and you had to do critical thinking in a very quick amount of time. I think one of the best things, and this again goes back to the whole Dr. Pepper thing or the director school, is we used to get together and it was like a football pool, where a draft. It was it was a draft. And sometimes it was fun. Sometimes it was, we really got into some pretty deep discussions. Shout out to Shane Mize and Jay Tryon.
Hashtag no roundtables. He would fight us every bit. If somebody submitted a roundtable discussion, you'd have to go through the ringer of Shane. Don't say anything to Shane about roundtables or Disneyland. But you got to see so many different perspectives. And the other thing that really came out of it was that you would meet people that are going to be your lifelong friends. John Prue is a prime example. When I retired and I looked at what I was going to do after I retired, I reached out to not only to Nikki, because I'm interested in the consulting thing, and that'll be on later shows, but I was talking to John about, because he retired just not long before I did. And so we actually had an opportunity to talk. And as you can see, earlier this week, Craig was missing. Unfortunately, one of his guests had to cancel. So myself and John Prue and Wesley Aquatics Man, King and Dave,
Outdoor Link, Ramirez got on, and we got to have a great conversation. And, that's the kind of thing that CPC, participating on your local, parks and recreation organizations, those kind of things really help to solidify your partnership within our community known as Parks, Recreation, and Community Services. Awesome people. We do awesome things, and we make awesome things happen. So I'm going to ask Carlo to play that video that I sent you. We'll see if it comes through, and then we'll have another little discussion with Nikki. So if you can go ahead and play that, Carlo. So this one here, actually, it's a little surprise. Well, for some people it's a surprise, but I like to speak. I like to talk, if you didn't know that. Well, Nikki likes to talk. And my guest last week, Sven, likes to talk. And you know what we love? We might like to talk, but we love talking with each other and doing sessions. So at our NRPA conference in September in Philadelphia, remember, I'm a Cowboys fan, and the Philadelphia are the Eagles, so it'll be interesting for me. I was told I can't wear any cowboy gear. I think I will, to see if I make it out alive. We are going to be presenting a session on celebration. So, Nikki, you want to give an overview?
Yeah, absolutely. So we offered this one several years ago, and we're excited to be back to talk about it. And it's really just about, how do you recognize your staff? How do you celebrate what you do? How do you make sure that that everybody can make it through the day to day? Because as park and recreation professionals, and I was thinking about this when we were talking about all the things that changed during the master planning process for Lake Elsinore, is that as park and rec professionals, you are constantly having to come up with plan A, B, C, D, E through Z. And you've got to be flexible. And so not taking that time to celebrate those things is really just a detriment. And this session is very focused on, how do you celebrate people? How do you celebrate yourself? Are there ways to lift up your organization, thinking about the culture and how that impacts it? So I'll share some stories, both from our individual agencies as well as a national perspective. I'll share some great ideas that I've learned throughout the years here, and hope that you'll come in and share too, because it's not about us talking, please. It's about listening too.
Yeah, we do an interactive. So we really believe in sharing, because sharing is caring, as you know. And another, as they call them, Jonathanism, is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You probably need to change the treads on it to go with your agency. Excuse me. We've had some really great discussions. And the thing is, we started off by telling you we don't know everything. We know what's worked for our agency. And so as one of my past coworkers, Giovanni Huerta, you remember Giovanni, he likes to sprinkle cinnamon and stuff. So you can get that information, go, well, you know what? I can take this piece out and put it over here and sprinkle some cinnamon and make it work for my agency. So it's an hour-long session. There is a lot of communication. One of the things, as long as we can hopefully get the internet to work, is Nikki uses, now which is it, Menti?
Menti, yeah. We use
not Mentos, it's Menti, right?
Well, maybe we should give out Mentos during Menti.
Well,
because we have given out Snickers, yeah. We'll have Sven bring a case of Mentos this time. It's a little lighter than the
easier,
Snickers.
yeah. Because we don't give the small ones.
Oh no.
We give the jumbo ones, and Sven had to actually pay an extra $30 for a carry-on to bring the Snickers that we brought. But it'll be a lot of fun, a lot of laughing, and a lot of interaction. We want people to interact. Because as Nikki says, we mention some of the stuff that we've done. And the thing is too, we don't just talk about, our staff and the volunteers. We also talk about our leaders, because a lot of times they don't get the recognition that they really need and deserve. And what we're looking forward to is that discussion, that interaction, to hear what other people do. Even though that I'm retired now, but I'm still in the field. And as I go through and hopefully do some consulting with your organization or something like that, we can share this information to make your organization better. So I'm also doing another session. I think I mentioned this before. Liddy Gutfield and I are going to do one on basically fundraising, but really focusing on the partnership that you create after you do the fundraiser, because those organizations that now are your partners, you need to make sure that they're going to be good partners for you, and you're good partners for them as well. So I'm looking forward to September. Nikki and I haven't seen each other since she came and made a presentation in February. Was it February? January, February? I think we moved to February, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
February, March.
So
yeah.
yeah. And so we keep in touch. Sven and Nikki and I keep in touch all the time. That kind of partnership is really, really important. So if we take a look at it, what has been your biggest accomplishment in working for Chicago or working in recreation, and what's been your biggest accomplishment with Barry Dunn?
Biggest accomplishment with Chicago. I'm going to have to go with, it's the ones that I didn't realize. It's after leaving, and I run into my Chicago Park District crew when I'm at the national conference and the state conference. And when they come up to me and just hug me and tell me how much they miss me and say that, hey, I got that job that I was looking for. I just got a text the other day from one of my staff who just got his CPRE. I had another person who was at, I think it was at SMS, and he works now for Park District of Oak Park. And he said, he told my colleague, oh my gosh, Nikki was instrumental in me getting this job. So those, to me, those are the, literal goosebump moments that, other stuff, sure, there's things I did, but that, when I feel like I've made a difference in somebody's life, that really inspires me. From a Barry Dunn perspective, my biggest accomplishment,
besides working with me and
besides working with you, I mean, it's every community, but I'm going to have to go with one that's so fresh. My biggest accomplishment is when I feel like my communities, my clients have identified the challenge and start moving forward. And this just was in the news this week, and I was so excited about it. So Vermont State Parks, you've heard me talk about them. They were one of my first clients. And sit down when you hear this. They have 55 parks and 47 staff. And so, so they asked us about 3 or 4 years ago, they hired us to do a modernization study. And basically, for being such a premier destination for the country, I mean, when you think of Vermont, you think of going there in the fall for the leaf peeping season, right? Well, they're only open 7 months a year. And of course, because there's 47 staff for 55 parks, right? So they have their summer staff. Well, they really wanted us to help them prove to the legislation that they need the help. And so it was very much a study on staffing, on pricing, on housing for staff, because when you're with Vermont State Parks, you live, it's a park, the park supervisor lives in the park often. So we did a pretty deep study. Well, just this week in the Boston Globe, Barbara Heller, who is a friend and colleague, and she's did some work in Lake Elsinore. She's done tons of stuff. She's frankly the reason I came to Barry Dunn. I just admired her so much, and this is why I came to Barry Dunn. She sent me an article, and they just deployed incremental pricing to help them subsidize some of this. So that demand pricing was a recommendation by us that doesn't really impact the community members, but it does impact the tourists a little bit. It'll go up based on demand, so they can get a little money coming in. And I was like, that was how my week started this week, and I was just so excited to see that yes, something was done. And I always talk to clients or potential clients when they do the interviews, and oftentimes this question comes up: how are you going to make a plan that's implementable? And I always say, and I mean this from my heart, I don't want to give you something that sits on the shelf. How defeating is it for me to spend a year developing a relationship, doing all this work, and then you come back to me in 5 years for a strategic plan or 10 years for a comprehensive plan, and I say, so what did you accomplish? You're like, nothing. Well, I don't want that. I want to see action. I want to see things happening, and that way I feel like I did good, because my mantra has always been to make the world a better place. And so I try to make the world a better place, one community at a time. So I hoped that I always do that with every single client.
Well, that's awesome. For me, being, newly retired, I would say, and I always use this one, and sorry, Brandon, I'm not going to use this time, but Brandon Fuentes is probably one of my biggest success stories at work. But at my going away retirement party, I had Alma Ramirez, who Alma was she was a intern with us, and then we hired her as a management analyst. And then she went on to go work for the municipal water district. She's been kicking butt and taking names for years. It was one of those things that people go, oh, she's not going to be happy. She's going to come back. She has gone. She has thrived. She has gotten promotion. She's gotten others promotion. And while we were there, she was saying that because of the opportunities that I was able to give her and the city was able to give her. Whoa. Sorry. Wait, come here real quick.
TV.
Hey, come here real quick. Okay. She won't be able to speak, but since it's Nikki.
Is that my Janelle? Hi, Janelle.
So, yes, as you can see, I'm in my office, which is the kitchen, and my wife was feeding the dogs, and that's what happened on the screen. Anyway, but she was saying that because of the opportunities that we gave her in the city of Lake Elsinore, because of my the way I work with my team is I make sure they're my bosses and I happen to give them opportunities for success. She said that I was one of the people that helped her be successful. And that mentorship thing is really something that I take with me that means a lot. Since I asked you to, my second one is NRPA or CPRS. Any opportunity that I have to go and share just some of my knowledge, it means a lot to me, because it means I'm able to pass on some of the things that I was very fortunate to learn from my mentors themselves. At the last conference that I was going out on the CPC, I had somebody that I didn't even know, but they follow me on LinkedIn, and they also follow me on NRPA, and they came up and they said, hey, you're that Jonathan guy. I go, no, you know me. I'm like, no, I'm not. I have no idea what you're talking about. He says, oh, no, I know you. You got the gap. I'm like, oh, okay, that is me. So they said, oh, okay. So this is live, but it's okay, honey. All right. So anyway, our granddaughter's here. So she told me that she's okay watching TV. Anyway, he goes, hey, you're that Jonathan guy. I go, yeah, I am that Jonathan guy. So I just really want to thank you for what you did. I said, well, what did I do? He says, I heard you on the CPC, and you guys go ahead and you evaluate all the sessions for the conference. And I go, yeah. They go, well, this year we actually had something in park maintenance that we've never had. And I was able to convince my bosses that I'm able to come because NRPA now has something for the park side. That right there just shows that the things that we've done in either local or national organizations mean something. And a lot of times we won't even know it. It'll be one of those, like you said, just that random person that comes to you and go, you know what, you made a difference in my life. And that's really what Parks, Recreation, and Community Services is all about. So Nikki, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for everything you've done for our organizations and for me personally. I mean, I'm looking forward to speaking with you in September. I'm wearing my Bucky stuff. I think I might wear this at the actual session.
Better than Dallas stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get beat up on this one.
Karen will probably kick you out of the state. And the Eagles fan, Karen Hessler.
Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's and Brian Ambrose. He's a big fan. So, but anyway, I want to thank you for being on. Everybody, listen, I want you to have a great weekend. If you are looking for me, you can follow me on LinkedIn. Remember, go out, subscribe to YouTube because we need to get that 1,000 so you can come in and see our sessions. This is Jonathan Skinner, Papa J. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jonathan.
This episode is brought to you by SDSU's Sports MBA program. If you're passionate about sports and want to work in the women's sports industry, then this is the time to pay attention. SDSU's program is 12 months accelerated hands-on learning where students have actually gotten to work with teams like the San Diego Mojo, partnered with the Farmers Insurance Open, and visited headquarters like the Upper Deck or Callaway Golf. It's built for people who want to be in rooms like that. So if you're interested, deadlines are approaching. Learn more or apply with the links in the description.
In the parks and recreation industry, attention is limited, but influence is everything. Every day, thousands of parks and recreation professionals make critical decisions. Decisions on infrastructure, programs, technology, and vendors. The question is your brand part of that conversation? DPRS Media Network was built to answer that question. We are a dedicated media ecosystem focused exclusively on the parks and recreation industry in the United States. Through a network of daily and weekly shows, we inform, connect, and influence this audience. Our distribution spans multiple platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, plus email campaigns, newsletters, podcasts, and live event coverage. This is not a single-channel strategy. It is a multi-platform media engine. Today, our network reaches over 214,000 connections, including 51,000 on LinkedIn, 64,000 on Facebook, nearly 40,000 email subscribers, and thousands more across podcast and social platforms. While some audiences overlap, our true value is not just reach, it is relevance. We speak directly to parks and recreation directors, program managers, and industry leaders, an audience that is highly targeted and actively engaged. Through DPRS Media Network, your brand integrates seamlessly into this ecosystem. Through sponsored show segments, targeted advertisement placements, podcast features, and host-read promotions, even custom branded content. Not as interruptions, but as part of the conversation. And we don't just operate online. We attend over 15 major parks and recreation conventions each year, reaching more than 24,000 professionals in person. Through live shows, interviews, and on-site media coverage, we position our partners at the center of the industry. Every piece of content we produce is amplified across our entire network. Multiple shows, multiple hosts, multiple platforms. Your message doesn't appear once, it multiplies. This is more than advertising. It is strategic positioning within a trusted media network built specifically for the parks and recreation industry. If your goal is to reach decision makers, build credibility, and stay top of mind, then it's time to partner with DPRS Media Network. Apply for partnership or sponsorship today. Let's position your brand where the industry is already paying attention.